morning. So today is Wednesday, July 15th. So I am done with all the late work, which is really what takes the longest, and then I'm done with all your midterms. So I will be putting up the links today, so get ready for that. If there's any link that I'm missing, make sure that you bubble me. So something amazing that happened, I guess I'll mention this. So Cengage 145, I think it's all there. I see the grades, so people have been able to get in. If you can't get in, just reboot, exit and try to get in because it's all there. But you have to be able to navigate through it. So you have to press, and then it'll bring up another menu, and then another menu, and another menu. And there's an X at the top of your right-hand side of the window. So just exit out and get in and out, get in and out. There's not many places you can get in and out. There's sections there. I'm sorry, 133, just please suck it up. So there's sections there in Cengage that, portfolio and stuff like that. Just read through it. Don't do them. Just get through your chapter 1 and chapter 2 and get through the activities. I think there's 11 activities overall, I believe. Okay, I think there's 5 in chapter 1, and then I think there's 7 in chapter 1, and then 5 in chapter 2. Okay, so going back, so I'm completely done. I'll do the links, and then today we have class. We have Teams class, Zoom, Cengage, not Zoom. Sorry. What a hot mess. It's because I was it was with the Cengage and this and that. It just really moved my energy and whatever. So take a deep breath, right? And so we will be having a Teams meeting, and I will be having, I think, 2 o'clock English 145, and then at 3 o'clock English 133. I want to thank every single one of you who has written me either through Bubble and email, and I'll mention something about that has told me that they have work and that they will not be able to attend. I had a specific student also that sent me a letter saying, in her work that she was essential or essential worker. So I very much appreciate it. I don't really need it, but I am very grateful for it. So when you tell me something, I believe you. Okay. If you're caught doing something else, well, first of all, I'm going to lose full trust of you. But second of all, and then I'll find out. Right. And I usually have a gut about it as well. So whatever you believe me, right? And I am a woman of my word, so that's how I expect everybody to treat and to come when they come with me and come to me, right? Whatever you tell me is what I believe you, unless otherwise stated and something bizarre comes out. And the truth always comes out. So if you tell me you're an essential worker and you can't make it, that's fine. And you don't need to show me any proof or anything like that. So thank you to the student that did, but you don't need to follow up with me. Although, okay, she did brilliant because it backed up whatever she was saying. So whenever you're dealing with people, that's a huge recommendation, and that is great because you say, I can't go in because of this or whatever. Some people require information and proof. Usually I don't. I'll never forget, there was a teacher one day and she never forgave her principal for it. She had a funeral to go to, and the principal would not approve her leave, even though leave is approved. Okay, whether you're approved leave or not, your leave is your leave. Your leave is your leave under the circumstances that it meets the certain criteria. Okay, and usually grievance and funerals do. And she just didn't let her go. So that was horrendous. Okay, so I don't really do that unless I know that you're lying to me, and you've done it to me before. I did have a employee that every time we had major data reports that we needed to get to every single year, we needed to do a report for the state. She would miss. She was absent. And we couldn't wait for her because the report had a deadline, right? And so she did that to me several years consistently. There was always something, and it was always something kind of vague. The last time she said she had a death, and I didn't believe her, and I asked her for proof, okay? Just because there was a consistency and there was a pattern to her absences, and they always were around very crucial dates. And I'm very good at picking out patterns, even if they were a year ago or 2 years ago, okay? So even though I was meanie, third year that I was there, and I'm you need to bring me something, she pulled out a obit from who the hell knows what that was several, half a month before and whatever. And so, they were all lies, but so don't put yourself in that situation. But professionally, if you can back it up, that's great. For me, you don't need it. I trust you. Whatever you tell me, I believe, and whatever it is, the reason I believe it and the reason I'm so easy with that and flexible is because you have no reason to lie to me, okay? If you have issues, if you have things coming up, just tell me. We'll figure them out. If you're overwhelmed with whatever, then, that's fine. Just let me know. But if you're overwhelmed all term, then that's not a problem. And if you keep having the same problems you did from the very first term that I had you, and this is a second term, then I don't believe you, right? If you can't find, like my YouTube channel, the first term, and this and that, and you don't know what to do, and whatever, and blah, 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 and I take the time to explain it all to you, and then you're telling me the same thing the second term, that whatever, blah, 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 I'm not going to believe you, okay? So don't feel a need to lie to me. Not that anybody has, but for me, don't feel a need to. It is what it is. We can get through it. I have some students that that because of the bridge have been separated, and so they didn't have their computers and stuff like that. So let's be creative, right? You have a midterm to turn in. Maybe you don't have access to a computer. You do have access to notes, or you have access to some sort of other, apps that you can have through your phone. Just write that down. If you don't, then get paper and pencil and say, hey, miss, I wasn't able to get it in Word document. Would you please accept, my writing, and I'm over here. I can't cross over, whatever, this and that. If you're locked out of SU, well, let's problem solve, okay? And part of the problem solving is having to do with when teachers used to come to me. Remember, I was a principal, right? And they had all these problems. This doesn't work. This. I think we should do this better. I think this program, whatever. And it's not working like this. Well, you need to come with a solution. You can't just tell me what the problem is and have me figure out all your life, okay? So whenever you're in a situation, whenever you see that there's, a system that can work better, voice it. If they don't want to do it, there's reasons that they don't want to do it. But usually the person that is over you and above you doesn't know, because they're not doing what you're doing. So they have an idea, and that's okay, because that's not their job. Their job is to lead, right? So they have an idea of what it does and whatever, but it is your obligation to make it more proficient and efficient for you within the realms and requirements of whatever it is that they're asking for, and the format, right? And sometimes you can go, I had the liberty and the freedom and the risk-free environment that I would hope that my teachers would come to me and tell me, hey, Miss Sabine, I think we can do this better, or I think that, why are we doing this? This doesn't make any sense. Do we really need it for something? Or there's this other program that we can use that could really be beneficial, and it gives us more data. So when you go with the problem, make sure that you have a solution, okay? Now, if you don't have a solution, then you have to address it to your leader and say, hey, you know what, there's this problem. I've done it this way, I've done it that way, I've done it this other way, but it doesn't seem like there's any solution that I can come up with that will resolve the problem. Can you help me with it? So that gives it a whole different dynamic, and it really is about efficiency in the whole process and the systems, okay? So when you go with the problem, you better have a solution. So if you have issues like with Cengage, with this, with that, you work them through. If you can't, then you come and tell me. And then you tell me, hey, miss, you know what? Like, I'm stuck in Juarez. I don't have my computer. I can't turn in my paper. What do you suggest? Last night I'm like, well, get paper and pencil. So it is your responsibility in life to solve problems, right? We are lifelong learners, and we are problem solvers. And what my goal and my objective for school was for my students to be problem solvers, not to be the best in math, not to be the best in English, not to be good students, but to be able to resolve any problem and any issues that they would come up with or that came through their path. And what my whole goal for them was for them to get through the system, whatever that system is, whether it's like getting, like in life, right? So getting like a license, your driver's license, or, filling out forms so you can get a scholarship, or, filling out an essay, writing an essay because you need to be in the, because you're competing for the National Honor Society, right? So it's about resolving the issues, identifying what the problem is, what the system is. Sometimes it's not a problem, sometimes it's a process and a system that you have to go through, and then determining what is required to get through that system and that problem, or whatever it is that you have, working through it to be able to come out ahead and successfully through it, okay? So that is part of the thing. So So with that, I want to go to the next point. Part of everything that I have you do, because I'm a principal, right, is that you're learning a lot of stuff that you don't know you're learning, okay? So part of the reason that I have all these, platforms is for different things, right? There's different forms of delivering instruction because I'm a teacher, so there's different modalities that we have in order to learn. Are you a visual learner? Are you an auditory learner? Are you a kinesthetic learner? And so usually it's a combination of what you need in terms of learning and the way that things are presented to you and the way that you accept and assimilate and digest information and knowledge, okay? So, some people are auditory, some people are visual, some people are kinesthetic, and so you have different platforms here with me that allows for that, right? So what that has merged into, please forgive me, I don't know why. It's because I was ready for my YouTube and then I was trying to figure out Cengage. Anyway, but everything's fine in Cengage because it's there. So anyway, so what has happened is that you have become so proficient in communicating with me, right? Because you don't have access to me physically. So what happens is that it was beautiful, so I did the all the late work yesterday, and it is so cumbersome. You guys have no idea. You have no idea. It's so cumbersome. But anyway, so I had to go through all my emails to make sure that I got everybody, and then I had to go through all my bubbles, make sure that I got everybody, and then I had to go through all my SU portal to make sure that I got everybody, and then have to go through all the assignments to make sure that I got everybody, okay? So it's a lot of processing and it's a lot of cross-checking, okay? But I'm very thorough, and that's the only way I can do things because I am very efficient, okay? So what has happened in the process is that you guys bubbled me, but then you guys message me, right? Through email, not message me. You guys message me, which is a bubble through my RSU, and then you all would back up your email. Or you follow up with your email and then back up with your bubble. And you were very consistent in making sure that I got it graded. And you gave me the flexibility and the breather because I told you, hey, I'm not there yet. Just be patient, to be able to be patient, monitor your grade. And if you saw that there was changes, right? I had a student, they're like, hey, miss, thank you so much for grading this one, but there's this other one that I need. Could you please check into it? Or is there something that I did, right? That's a perfect, follow up to something that you thought didn't get through without being pushy, without being like you're entitled, being polite and being patient, which is what you have to do for life, right? So that I didn't check it. That I had already gone and graded it, but there was one more missing. So you knew that something was off. Just like I had a student today, they're like, miss, I can't get in, whatever, this and that. She reached out. So we're trying to work through it. And then we have several solutions that she came up with, right? That she's going to try out if it doesn't work. So she's going to try to do that, and then we'll see how it goes, right? The same thing. So, and then I really want to thank you because when I told you that, I text you or whatever, not text you, but I messaged you, you guys answered right away. So that is beautiful, right? Because I'm there. So I was able to go back and recheck and cross-check whatever it is. And whatever you told me, I would go back and look for it and then correct it. So that was great teamwork and that was great collaboration. And as you know, I work at night. So most of you were messaging me at 10 o'clock at night. And I truly appreciate that, just like I usually text you guys back. I've had some messages at 2 o'clock in the morning. Be mindful of that. I have people in the house as well. And then remember that anytime that you have, and that goes for anybody, I told you the story about, my boss, he would get texts at 5 o'clock in the morning because there was emergencies, or 2 o'clock in the morning. When you get texts or when you get calls at that time, it's never good, right? So you're always thinking that it's something bad, and it's not about, and you're thinking that somebody died or whatever, somebody's in the hospital or something, right? So when you receive those texts to tell you that I'm not, I can't do this assignment or with work, right? I'm not going to be able to go in tomorrow because whatever, then, you just really upset the person because they're like, whatever. And so with that also, sometimes you don't let them go back to sleep. Please forgive me. I usually drink this water. I love, Starbucks water. I don't know why. I think it's three filter filtration, 3 system or 3 whatever process filtration. I love it. So after I run and after I walk, I do that. So going back to that, I forgot where I was because I was so thirsty. So be mindful of that. But with that, I was a little late yesterday. I usually don't like to text anybody past 10 or 9. When I was in school, I used to put in like 12 to 14, 17-hour days. And so my staff knew that by like 8 or 9 o'clock at night, I was like already in bed and going to sleep. Okay, because I used to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to exercise and everything, and I was by campus by 6:30 or 7. All right, so I had very, very full days, and they were very mindful of that. I also, within our relationship with my assistants that were very close, they knew that I was up at 5 o'clock in the morning. They were up at 5 o'clock in the morning, so we used to start our day there with whatever was pending. Okay, so unless you have that relationship, you're okay. Unless you don't, then don't do it. Just wait up. Do decent hours like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. And then I usually don't like to reach out past 9, especially to businesses or whatever, or clients or my employees. But I did reach out to some of you around 10 o'clock, and you guys were very mindful, and you were ready, and so that facilitated the process, and that made it easier for me because I got everything done. So I greatly thank you, and I'm very appreciative of you answering back, and I know that it was late, so thank you for that. But most importantly, I'm so proud of you. You guys have no idea how proud of you I am, because what you have created in this very 2 weeks, because this is the third week, right, is the ability to be able to email, okay? The ability to be able to address somebody properly. You are always very proper with me. You always use the proper titles. You always use the proper intros. And that's what writing and reading is about, right? Whatever venue and platform you're in, and whoever it is that you're writing to. Since you're writing to me, there's always a level of respect. There's always a level of formalities in your writing, and that's exactly what you need. So that was beautiful. Every time you would contact me, good afternoon, good morning, Miss Edwin, this and that or whatever. I'm usually abrupt and I don't answer the way you should, but that does not mean that you should do the same. I have 150 students, so I'm like this. And then just so you'll know, okay, because I have a lot of typos, like my screen, because I have a double screen, and I don't know if I should show you because my office is a hot mess. But I'm gonna just see if I can do this. So my office is a hot mess, and this is the way I work, and we'll discuss this later. But let me see if I can bring it up. Oh, I can't. I don't have a... So because technology is, and sometimes it's a little behind. I've always been really innovative and stuff. I lost it because I was gonna show you my office, which is a hot mess. And because I have 2 monitors, okay? So my computer is on one side, but it has a little monitor, which really isn't that little. I think it's like a 16-inch or whatever. And then I have a bigger monitor because I do a lot of real estate, so I have a lot of spreadsheets that need to be out, right? That's helped with all my other businesses and my other jobs, like school, okay? So the monitor that I'm looking at is right here, but I'm texting or using the keyboard, right? I'm typing over here on this. So sometimes I have to look at my keyboard, but I can't see what I'm typing. So please forgive me. I'll show you later what it's like. My YouTube, my recording does not allow for my video to turn around and then turn back. It doesn't give me the option. That's why I lost you. So be mindful of that, and be mindful that I am not as courteous and formal as I should be. And sometimes I don't like capitalize because it's just like I can't, like it's like typing like this instead of typing like this and looking at the stuff. So my apologies on that, right? So just be, just give me a break, right? But I do love the way you all are. So you've learned how to address me, how to address an email, how to be consistent with whatever it is that you're asking for. You guys were great. You gave me your name, you gave me the section, you gave me the class, you gave me the assignment, you told me what the deal was, and then brief, right? Which was great, because that was great. Or you just gave me enough to tell me what it is that I needed. So not only that you did that through email, you did that through Bubble, but you used the other. So if you bubbled me, then you followed up with an email. If you emailed me, you followed up with a bubble, and you kept on doing that until I finished. And then in your bubbles, there were some people that just did the bubbles, right? The message, and that was great. So I was consistent in it. And that way in my bubble, I can go back and forth in my screen on SU to see what it is. With my email is a completely different program, and it's a different screen that I have to be able to access whatever it is. So that's why I like the bubble, because when you tell me something with the bubble, I have my SU screen on there, so I can go and reference it right away. With my my email, I either have to do double screen and then open up another window, or have my other, like if I'm doing it on the computer, I have to have my phone to be able to read the email. So it's very complex for me on this end to be able to, follow up with you and to be able to, to cross-reference. But it is what it is, and that's the way it sort of works, just because we have so many things, right? I have my iPad, I have my computer, I have my phone, I have my apps, so I have my emails, I have my SU portal, so lots of stuff and very diverse, but you're ready and you're set. And when you go into work and when you start a job, you're going to be so diverse in everything that you learned at school here. So you think that this daily attendance and you think the back and forth, for assignments is nothing, but you have definitely in 3 weeks with me, 2 weeks, all right, because we're barely on Wednesday today. You have learned how to navigate through different programs. You have your apps, you have your SU, you have your Teams, you have your Cengage, you have your hard copy book, you have your, your YouTube, right? I have my YouTube. You have your, excuse me. I'm so sorry. That's my life. That's why, whatever. So you have your YouTube, you have your phone, you have your texting for your Teams. I've mentioned like 10 things there. You have your Word documents, your Excel sheets that you do. You have Cengage that you're going through. So all programs and all different types of platforms that you become very proficient in. So you have, if I haven't done anything more, you have learned so much about technology in these 2 weeks. That's it. And everybody can do it. Everybody. Those people that, miss this and this and that, you guys go breeze in and out. You know what I'm talking about. You know where Teams is. You know, we can have Teams meetings. That's amazing. So you have learned so much. And within that, you have learned how to communicate formally through all sorts of things, through YouTube, right? You have to comment through your Teams app, right? You can text me through your Teams app. We will be having a meeting today through Teams app, through Cengage. Those of you who don't have Cengage, you'll get to that. Through your SU portal, through your emails, through your message. Those are 7 things just of communication and being able to communicate and navigating through it. It's beautiful. And then the SU link that you have to upload, the YouTube videos that you sort of have to comment and upload as well. Discussion boards. You all have no idea how much you've learned. And I sort of am brilliant that way, because you had no idea how much you learned and you thought it was all sort of stupid stuff or whatever, but you've learned a lot. Like you've learned a lot. And we haven't even gone into the nitty gritty in terms of knowledge and information and content. So that's why I'm so good, right? Anyway, if I don't tip my own horn, who does, right? So just very proud of you. I'm just so proud of you, and we've done so much in 2 weeks. So now it's about really doing the nitty gritty and doing the content, okay? So that's what I'm going to be talking about. I usually do with my Teams meetings. I usually do, structure of language and structure of words is what I think I'm going to do. If you have other things that you need to do, I usually don't review the homework unless you have questions for the homework. Let me know. And unless I find that there's something important within the homework that needs to address, I usually will address it within our YouTube videos. But really, my Teams meeting is really about what I know and my knowledge, which I'm very knowledgeable. I'm very knowledgeable about word structures and the way words are created and how the base of the words are, prefixes, suffixes, that. I was a kinder teacher, so I taught people how to read, higher grade level teachers do not know how to teach reading. So it's only your kinder teachers and your first grade teachers. They are the only ones that that teach how to read. Not everybody else can teach how to read and write, okay? Because all the other teachers have a good foundation of whatever the early childhood teachers did. So I know exactly what the structures of language is. Also, I was a principal and, and I'm bilingual, so I understand fully what it takes to sort of understand all that. So just so proud of you, the way we all handled this, and that together, collaboratively, we got everything through. If there's I will not be accepting unless otherwise I screwed up and did not correct something that I was supposed to correct, or anything, or that you didn't get approval on. I will not be accepting anything from this term, from this part of the term for the following. So we're done with this term. If you didn't get it in, ching ching, unless you have it approved by me, and I think I'm waiting on one person or two, and that's it. For those of you who are having really hard time, that your parents are really sick, and you have people sick with COVID, sick that have nothing to do with COVID, and that are, really bad illnesses that have no cure, just know that we are here with you, and that we will do anything to help you out. And for those of you who are going through COVID stuff, same deal, okay? So I have the flexibility, and I hope you get through this, and sometimes just everything happens at a time, and all you need is just some understanding. So know that you have it with me. But you also have to do your stuff. So last term, I had some students with some problems. I told them to get in the stuff, and they didn't. Well, I can't grade, and I can't give you a grade for something you didn't turn in. Okay, so I think that's it. I'm gonna try to put these these two, videos together, because they got split up, but there's no way I'm going to redo them. So we'll see if it goes. Okay, so many blessings, love, and light. I do want to say this. I had a student, and I think I mentioned it in the first part of the video, that reached out and said, hey miss, I'm so worried about you. Are you okay? Because you haven't been posting the way you usually do. Thank you so much. That means you love me, and that means that's why I love you guys back. So yes, I haven't, as you can tell, I have so much work, which leads me to, I'll do this little tidbit, and this is what I was going to do. So let me drink some water. So I have access to quite a bit of millionaires, okay? So I have seen how they live their life and what it is that they do. The most important thing, and maybe I can do a YouTube video on that if you guys are interested. It'll be a finance class if you're interested in it, and how to, get your money under control, and how to start saving, and how to generate more income for you, okay, if you want. Maybe I should do a book on that. There's all these people that write all these books, what millionaires do, and, this and that. I wonder if they themselves are a millionaire, and I wonder if they themselves have profitable business, So be very mindful of people that write those things. They're just sort of saying whatever, and then, but their life doesn't reflect that. So don't be listening. I had a friend one time. She says, "Why are you taking advice from people that are not higher up than you?" And she didn't mean that in a bad way, right? But that people were less successful, or people weren't as financially stable as you. Why are you listening to them? And that's an absolute truth, okay? And that goes for life. Everybody you can learn something from everybody, but don't be taking people's advice that haven't done well with their relationships, that haven't done well with their finances, that are in debt up the wazoo, that are a hot mess, that, don't have great jobs or whatever. Those are not the people you're wanting to listen to, okay? So just really quick, little finance tidbit here. So I have a lot of access to lots of millionaires. Thank God. It just is what it is, right? And so what I've learned from them is that their sole income is not from one place, okay? And that is what keeps us in a middle, in a lockdown, salary-based ideal. So, because we want a good job and whatever, but we don't think that there's other things that we can be doing. Of course, it's a lot of work. I'm not going to tell you it's not. And when you're raising children, I'm in a better place right now in terms of time, because my children are all grown. So, but I have always worked really, really hard. And what I've done is that within the constraints of what I had, my degree and my profession, I always wanted to be the highest earning possible title or degree that I was within that realm. So I was a principal. I was a high school principal, so I was one of the highest earning employees in the district. We had associate superintendents who were very highly paid, and directors. And then, of course, you had the superintendency. So I was, my next level would have been the superintendency, which means that's, the higher, the biggest and most paid position. I didn't get there because life had other plans for me. But anyway, so now, I have my businesses, right? I have my YouTube business. I have my real estate business. So I'm an entrepreneur. And in addition to that, I'm a teacher, ex-principal. So I have, in essence, 3 incomes from where I derive from. Okay, so as you saw, like right now, the phone, the phone rang, and so it's one of my very big clients. Okay, so I'm gonna answer right now. So I forgot to turn it off. Okay, so and we work all the time. Those clients are available, whether it be vacation, Christmas, whatever. If the deal is coming and there's issues there's things that we need to get ready. It doesn't matter what time. It doesn't matter what season of the year. There's no breaks and there's no vacation for any of us. We can be vacationing, but that doesn't mean that we're going to be putting down our phone. Okay, we answer everything. That's one. The other thing is that they're all very hard workers, all of them, and they're very focused. And business is priority, which becomes a problem because you have to have a good balance between business and family. But it is what it is. I'm a workaholic, and and my children have been very flexible for that. When they used to have issues and they couldn't get a hold of me because my school didn't have good service, and so they'd call the office. They knew that they had probably had like 3 or 5 minutes max to be able to get the information that needed to get to, because I was so busy. I literally didn't even have time to eat and go to the bathroom. I don't recommend that, but life is life, and I'm just saying the truth, right? And so they were very quick, my children, to tell me what it was, this and that, and I get to them. But so they were never judgmental, and I am very grateful for them, and they've never thrown in my face. I've gone to all sorts of like programs for children's and this and that, Christmas program. I hardly ever went to mine, so it is what it is, right? And they understood it, and I thank them for it. So the point is that, you have to have a good balance, but when you're creating your career, it's hard to have a balance, and so you just do whatever is best and whatever you can, okay? So don't be so hard on yourself, and don't be, don't feel so guilty. Those are the cards. Play them, okay? Because there's times for everything. So in addition to that, what happens is that millionaires have different incomes from where they, different businesses and different things that they get their income from. So they not only have one specific income or job or business, they have several. So they usually have a one like solid foundation. Like they have a business, they're all legitimate, or some of them are not, who knows, but all of my businessmen and all my clients that I deal with are all legitimate. So they usually have something that they do. They're either in medical, or they're either in real estate, or they're either like in grocery stores or whatever, and that's one. And then they have other businesses, right? They either have like extra properties on the side. So the one that's in medical does like billing or who knows what or whatever, and is huge. And then he has, he has properties on the side. And so that's how I met him, because I'm doing his real estate. So that's that. So they usually have 2 or 3 businesses that provide income for them and that generate income for them, that they don't have to physically be there. Okay. So their money is working for them. So that's huge. So if you have an idea, put it up, right? Just like me, like I have my YouTube channel. I'm here to inspire people. I'm very spiritual, I'm an empath, psychic, I'm a seer, whatever, all sorts of stuff. And so in addition to helping people, I have that business. And then in addition to having my being a teacher, right, which gives me great stability, it gives me this job gives me, in addition to making it very fulfilling for me, because I need that, right? It feeds my soul. And I feel that I am in this world to help people along in whatever it is they need. And this is a perfect venue for that. It's a great stability. It's great stability. I get paid regularly. I'm an employee, so it's all great. And then, of course, I have my real estate, which is exhilarating and fun, and my entrepreneurship, and, my badass. And that's where I like, I'm a businesswoman, and I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm very well respected. And, I deal multi-million-dollar deals. And so it gives me another part of my life that's very exhilarating, very fantastic and magical, right? Which goes along with my, my YouTube channel on dream interpretations. But it gives it another type of reality and another type of lots of fun stuff. Okay, so that what happens, I work all the time, because I'm juggling all these 3, businesses that I have, and then of course I'm expanding on other ones. So it's a constant movement. Okay, so I encourage you to, to seek and to not be constrained to one specific ideal, that you just have this job and that's all you do. Well, what else can you do? Or what else does your life permits you to do. Part of having money is to have the ability to have the freedom to do whatever it is that you want, and that's really what it's about. So so don't be pegged into a certain peg hole, but expand whatever it is that you wish to do and reach your goals and your wishes, and just try them out. What's the worst that can happen? You don't get it done. Well, you weren't doing it anyway. But out of that trying, you can expand to going into something that is more profitable, or something, since you did and it didn't work out, maybe gave you an idea to expand into something else. So I encourage you to follow your dreams. Love and light. Ciao.